So, if you guys haven't noticed, Kenny Omega won the Impact Wrestling World Championship at the Rebellion pay-per-view just last night on Sunday. And I have to say, what now? That's technically it. You think would draw over enough headlines over, you know, an interpromotional championship unification. But what Kenny even did to even elevate the AEW championship to even succumb to that much so over success? It's just not that compelling, bro. Like I watched the main event. That's all that I said that I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to give you a review or that people are that compelled whenever people watch my Impact Wrestling reviews because I'll just shit on most of the guys and I really don't care. All I know is Big Cass made an appearance, but they didn't bring Enzo because Enzo technically has more profitability than Big Cass. I don't care how many people say it. Even though Big Cass hates the smarts, I hate him. So there's a difference. And we already know that Kenny Omega is already the worst world champion I've seen in a long time. And I'm not saying that because he's cool with Meltzer. I'm saying that because he's a boring ass wrestler. Out of most of what I saw in the match, it just determines that he just does not care about either selling over his match, selling over his moves, or getting him as a legit character that I'm supposed to despise or get to watch for the show to see him lose the championship. That's technically what the champion is supposed to do. And most people are more enamored in watching him get titles in different show promotions than get titles get titles around his own promotion and have cool feuds for a belt that barely has that much establishment and only has like two former WWE guys as their history. Kenny Omega drew the lowest numbers on Impact before. He's not pertaining that much buzz other than this is going to be a great match. They haven't even brung up any much of a feud involving the two promotions over their world champion, pretty much trying to take their championship, and there wasn't even that much of a prodigal story. It was just for the sake of impact, for the sake. It is boring crap. I don't want no part of that. What part of this is making me feel like I want to watch Impact Wrestling Dynamite, AEW or Impact? It's just not compelling. They'll just be like, Kenny, oh my God, Omega's the best thing ever. I want a 69 right now during this promo. Like that's it. I'm not trying to be pessimistic for the sake of views. I don't like pertaining to negativity. I wish I would be down here and just be like, wow, I can't wait for whatever feud's going to happen overly in the future. Because I know he's still going to be feuding with Moxley. Probably in some Iron Man match or some crap. And it's just no sustainable buzz that Kenny Omega brings when he wins championships. And he had a repetitive match that was just strike, strike, elbow, elbow, forearm, forearm, knee strike, knee strike. Literally, there was a point over the match he gave several V triggers, like what's supposedly his vintage move. That's a critical strike into the match to try to knock out his opponent. I saw Rich Swann even salivating from taking that much pain. He no sells us and just beats him up and does like a suplex just to break up into a rest spot. Like there's no semblance of realism in a Kenny Omega match. And the reason why I don't take him seriously is just the ethics on not trying to sell whenever a move is painful or when a move knocks somebody out where he can take it as a critical part of the match. And plus, every time to do so many moves over the top rope that just collapsed down the floor and didn't even look like it was about to go anywhere. Like that was a one-winged angel from the top, and you're trying to, I guess which one was supposed to reverse it into a Hurricane Rana, a reverse Hurricane Rana. That didn't get anywhere, and they're just trying to do these spots overly to get some benefactor of hype. It doesn't go anywhere. It feels like I'm just watching a cruiserweight match as the main event. I don't like saying that, but that's what's true. And this is supposedly drawing for me. It wasn't because NXT wasn't on AEW Dynamite, and plus AEW Dynamite usually just draws more people because it's on a bigger channel network where it has more funner shows to watch technically than USA, and it has a more important show because you're facing a developmental brand where you're getting 100,000 more viewers, and now they're garnering over 1 million more viewers over that standpoint. So NXT is the best thing to happen for AEW as a show, even though the world champion should be garnering more viewership. And shouldn't the fans be more ecstatic that the guy that you wanted from FN New Japan is on your show, is your world champion, and primarily is having a bit of a faction involving the elite, and it's still getting the lowest rated segments of the night? Because he's just a mid carder holding on to a world championship, and you have a guy that has no over the top personality coming around holding your belt with ooze of not getting you to move off of your seat or get excited over him for a match, and it just sounds like this. Like no one's gonna get behind that. And now that he's a champion for another TV show for pro wrestling, I'm not saying a wrestling show, like a TV show for pro wrestling. I'm not about that crap. It's just not going to elevate either the shows. It's not going to elevate the belt. It's not going to elevate viewership because Impact fans already tune on and off whenever even the AEW World Champion makes an appearance. And the show's already mediocre as it can be, having rip-off NXT matches with lackluster storytelling. With only one cool heavyweight. Oh wow, it is NXT! So, that's technically all I can say about this. I'm just expecting for the bare minimum because we're expecting for the long term. Most of you people are always there for the moment. I'm there for the long term. I have to review this crap. And if your world champion isn't doing much to garner more viewership than Chris Jericho against the Pinnacle or Mike Tyson coming through, he's not that important. And how he's treated more of a star on a different promotion than the actual show that he's on as world champion. Oh, it could be because he's a heel. No, because he sucks. No one's that much of a good heel that it makes you turn off the show. There's no such thing as that. That's a bad character. That's a bad heel. A heel makes you tune in to see what happens to him until he gets over to his comeuppance. That's what that's what people wanted to see whenever Triple H was over his reign and terror. People wanted to see Benoit take the title from him. RVD, Kane, Goldberg, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Batista, Shawn Michaels. I don't see that off Kenny Omega. He's not that compelling of a guy that you want to see his wrestling matches. He's not that compelling of a character that you want to see him have these interactions with anybody else over on the roster. And that's an obvious fact seeing over to the demographic or the rate or the ratings where technically the last third he shows up. And he's your world champion. He's supposed to revolve around the show. You only see him to 1 to 2 segments over before he goes, yeah, no, no, oh my god, oh, the V trigger, 1 week, oh my god, Kennedy, oh my god. Like, he's not that cool. When Chris Jericho gets less segments than even Britt Baker and Chris Jericho, is it really that shown to be the most beneficial part of the show? It's just a mind-boggling how either like inverse in this stupid reality that even in AW's benefits, they have shortcomings when it comes to something that they want because they're only pandering to a minority that only they can acclaim to because it's not going to grow their business and where they don't have to get that many disagreements so they can keep what they're doing. I hate shit like that. I liked when WWE stopped their family persona and went over to a more adult format because that was going to garner more viewership. Like Invincible. Something is family friendly is superhero based shows, and it's really adult with a lot of violence. Fans are reacting to that now. You see reaction videos, reviews, and stuff going over in the comics where people probably didn't even know what was there since '04, and people would rather watch that than watch Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, NXT, or Impact. That's where all the casual fans go to because they know they're gonna see cool people, hot chicks, while kicking each other's ass while telling interesting stories that are gonna get them hooked for a certain amount of time. And if your world champion is not garnering the most intrigue into your product, he has failed. That's not a good look. When your ace, technically your top guy that holds onto the goal to show that, is not getting more people to watch than an out of his prime Chris Jericho. I understand, like, come on. But that's all I gotta say. I don't think this title run is going to really benefit either Impact or AEW. I already feel like the partnership has ran over its course and it's crap. It has no benefactor other than, if you're shit on AEW, just go to the Impact in New Japan. But that's how it feels. It feels like a primordial demotion for programs that are already the bare minimum watch, and they're only gonna get the some amount of fan base and not the outside fans because the hardcore fans gatekeep so much. They're only getting they're just getting the bare minimum of the core fan base to watch, and even the core fan base diminishes over the quality of the show. You have seen that before. That's it coming from Eve, man. I don't really care. I got. I knew Kenny was gonna win the Impact Wrestling World Title, to be honest, and I feel like it's not going to even get anywhere. It really isn't. He's just gonna have great matches with Moose, great matches. Like all you care about is great matches, bro. That's depressing to me. That you care about the destination and how good it looks than the actual road. and it it's dependent on the story. Like you guys are boring. Like, the wrestling fan base is fucking boring to me. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you feel about Kenny Omega winning the Impact Wrestling World Title. That's it for me.